Hey guys, back with another video, another Pick My Next Review video. This will be episode 2, and I picked a lot of games from my last one, and I scaled it back a little. I've still got 5 games, 3 physical games here and 2 digital ones that I'll just talk about. I don't want to I don't want to really influence the vote too much, so I'm not gonna say which one I think is gonna win or anything like that. I'm currently playing through Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2 on PC right now, so that is going to be my next review. I don't know when that's going to go up. I'm still playing through it, but the game I play afterwards is going to be one of these games. Whatever game you guys vote on, whatever game gets the most amount of votes. So yeah, let's jump into the games that you guys will be voting for. We'll start with the 2 digital games. The first one is Metroid Zero Mission on the GBA, and this is a game I have played before, but I never actually beat it. I only played maybe a few hours of it back on the Game Boy Advance. I struggled to get into it, like with a lot of Metroid games back when I was younger, but it's one of those games I would really like to replay. And I just recently got it on the eShop on the Game Boy Advance for the Wii U. Because it actually recently came out on that. I thought, and the Game Boy Advance games are great on that gamepad. They look really nice. And the Metroid series is one of those series where I want to play more games. It's one of those series where I've kind of grown to like it more as I've gotten older. I kind of struggled to really get into them when I was younger, but the kind of game it is, like, the very exploration, single player exploration driven game. I really kind of like that game quite a bit, that type of game quite a bit now that I'm older. And Zero Mission apparently is a really amazing remake of the first game on the NES. And I'll probably never play the NES one. It just is one of those games I've tried to play multiple times, but it feels too dated to me. With its controls and the fact that it doesn't have a map, that is a deal breaker for me. It just completely ruins that game. But Zero Mission apparently is a nice proper remake, and it's got a map. The only bad thing I've heard about it is apparently there's like a really bad stealth section. I've heard a few people like it, but I'm never a fan of stealth segments in non-stealth games, so that's probably going to piss me off. But other than that, I mean, I'll probably enjoy the game, I would imagine, because I really did like Super Metroid. Metroid 2 on the Game Boy is another one that I would find hard to go back to, I think, because it doesn't have a map either. So yeah, the first game up for vote is Metroid Zero Mission on the GBA. And the last digital game up for vote is another Metroid game, Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. And I'm going to be playing the Wii version of this on the Metroid Prime trilogy, which I've got downloaded on my Wii U. The physical copy of that game is really expensive, but you can get it for a really good price on the eShop. And I finished Metroid Prime for the first time not too long ago. I have a review or impressions video up on the channel, and I fucking love that game. In fact, it's actually my favorite game in the series. The only thing I didn't like about it, well, you know what? I even didn't mind the fetch quest type hunt that you have to do towards the end of the game. Like, I know some people are really bothered by that. I actually didn't mind it so much because I really just loved exploring those environments. So obviously I really want to play the sequel. Now, I've heard the sequel is a much more difficult game. Apparently environment traversal in this game is extremely convoluted and can be quite frustrating. You really have to pay attention to your environments, apparently, in this game. Like, exploration is quite difficult from what I've heard, but I've also heard it's quite rewarding. I've also heard that a lot of the boss fights are like insanely difficult. I've always heard nightmare stories of the Boost Guardians, so I guess we'll have to see what that's about. So I'm a little intimidated by the game, I'll be honest. And the whole Dark World concept, where you actually are constantly getting hurt in the Dark World sections of the game, was something that really put me off when I played it back when it came out. And Metroid Prime was another game I couldn't quite get into back when it came out. But I think now that I finished that game, I can probably get into the second game and maybe enjoy it. I know some people consider it the best of the trilogy. So yeah, it's 2 Metroid games up for a vote. I don't know, the classic kind of Zero Mission or Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. And now the 3 physical games. The first one is Infamous Second Son on the PS4, and I've never actually played an Infamous game before. The only thing I've played is the demo of the first game on PS3, and I actually didn't like it. I thought the enemies were damage sponges. You just felt really weak. For a game that's kind of focuses on, your character having these crazy powers, you just felt really weak and fragile, and it just really put me off. But it's always a series I've been interested in, and this one seems like a good game to jump into the series with. I don't think the story here is connected with the first two games in any way, and I really want to play the most updated version of Infamous, like with the most solid gameplay. This is a beautiful game. I've seen the graphics on this thing. It's pretty impressive. And it looks just like a fun game, and Seattle's not really a city you get to explore in games. So I think that's really cool too. I have heard mixed things on the story though. I don't know. I don't know. It might not be that great. I don't know. We'll have to see. But it seems fun, and I could probably knock this one out pretty quickly. It's supposed to be a pretty short game, but I kind of wanted to get through all the PS4 games I have, and this is one of the few I have left that I haven't even touched. So yeah, Infamous Second Son. That game is up for voting, and the last two are Final Fantasy games. I've said that I wanted to try to get like a Final Fantasy series review done, and these are two kind of oddities in the series that I kind of want to play. I know I still need to play Final Fantasy 12, so I'm waiting on like an HD remake because I know that's going to come. And if I tried to start Final Fantasy 12, I bet you halfway through it would get announced to be coming out for PS4 at some point. But I also would like to play Final Fantasy 1 and 2, but I want to play the GBA versions, and the only way I can do that is through emulation, and I hate playing GBA games on an emulator because the aspect ratio is like really small, and it's just I don't know, I just don't like it. That's one of the reasons why I love the GBA on the Virtual Console for Wii U. GBA games are just perfect on that gamepad. And they even look good on the TV. So I'm kind of hoping Square Enix releases the GBA versions of Final Fantasy 1 and 2 on the eShop, because I heard those are more accessible, and I could finally probably finish those two games, since I've tried to get into the Origins version on PS1 for Final Fantasy 1, and I could not get into it. It was just too dated for me, too old school. But these two Final Fantasy games are some weird ones. But I would like to play them before I do my series review, because I would really like to talk about them. And the first game is Final Fantasy 13 Lightning Returns. And I showed this in a pickups video not too long ago, but yeah, the battle system is apparently really good. The story is apparently shit, but you know what? I can deal with that. There's been plenty of JRPGs where I've just loved the gameplay, and then the story's been shit, but I don't care that much. Star Ocean 4 is the big game there, but this is basically a Tri-Ace game too, which is kind of interesting. And I would really like to finish this trilogy. I've played 13 and 13-2, so I would really like to see the ending of this trilogy, even though I'm not crazy about the trilogy on the whole, but I really would like to play this. As far as gameplay goes, it looks the most appealing, and the time limit aspect actually looks pretty interesting to me. It's something I enjoy in like Dead Rising and Majora's Mask. It can be done well. So yeah, interested to see what this game's about. And then the final game for vote is Final Fantasy X-2, the remaster here on PS4. This game, I gotta say, like, the battle system looks fun, but like this game just looks cheesy as fuck. I've seen a lot of the music in this game, like, you know, basically the characters are like idol singers or whatever. It's really like, it's the kind of game that honestly, like, I don't know, it seems a little embarrassing, but I don't see myself enjoying the story in this game at all. But it looks fun to play, and I really do want to play all the Final Fantasy games, and I'm gonna have to play this at some point. So I know I've got it here on the PS4, and I like I said before, I want to get through all my PS4 games. So, you know, I feel like I would have wasted my money on this if I only play Final Fantasy X. So yeah, I don't know. Will I enjoy it? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. You know, I've heard good things about it from some people, but then there are some people that hate it too. So I don't know. We'll have to see on that one. But yeah, that's it, guys. Those are the games that are up for vote. Definitely let me know if you played any of the games that I've mentioned here, what you thought of them. You know, why you vote for a particular game. But yeah, that's it, guys. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.